Greetings, citizens of Earth. You are barking a happy tune with my pal Smurf of Smurf and the Magic Tones on 5280 Geek.
Live from the Vegas studios, it is Weekend Geek Update. Smurf here. We are sponsored by, of course, the wonderful enigmatic Susie Q's. She says hi, but she's in the midst of doing whatever she's got going on. This week, as promised on last week's podcast, we have the infamous, the pugilist of the public word, the everyman's arm wrestling champion, Joe Vallen.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Nice to see you. It's been
Good to
so
see
long,
you.
man.
Dude, it's been like a lifetime.
So here's how much I like you.
Okay.
Okay, let me
Tell me.
explain to your audience here.
Lay it on me.
I like you this much, where I said, where's your studio? You said, yeah, Lakewood.
No, I gave you the address. I just said it was in Denver, but okay.
But
continue.
after you said Lakewood, I said, awesome, I got a signing in Lakewood that same day. This will be great.
Okay.
So we get to the hotel in Lakewood. And get
Lakewood
ready.
has hotels?
Right, and then we had everything kind of planned out, and then Lily said, okay, now we're off to Aurora.
Yeah.
38 minutes across town.
Just think you get
the rain.
Get the quality time with the beautiful Lily.
So my point is,
That you love me.
this is how much I like you. Like you.
Come on,
Working
little
on
love,
love.
little
We're working on
bromance,
it.
little bromance.
I don't say that word lightly.
I know that.
I
know
to-
that's like a blood oath, and later we've got to like slice our hands.
I'd say we're on
and
track.
do that.
We're on track. I'll
Okay.
give you that, and I'd say that is far better than most.
I appreciate that.
Far better than most. You are on track. You're actually on track to get a ghetto pass if you continue on.
Wow.
at the
Okay,
rate
I'm,
you've been
I'm
going.
total in for
You've
that.
always been solid, and I've had my hiccups in the comic industry, and that's your gig. And
I don't pay attention to that shit.
you've never even brought it up to me.
Nope. No, it doesn't.
love that.
No.
Yeah.
Everybody's got hiccups. What I look at,
Yeah.
and this has been an ongoing topic between PJ. PJ's running the camera this week, folks. Ryan's on assignment. He'll be back. He has something that he's working on. It's a Ghostbuster versus the Dark Lord. It's great. He showed me some pics. It turned out really good. So that's coming, but I don't need to bring it up because of one thing that I can say, and PJ talking to I about this, you complete projects. You get shit done.
I really try. When I am the entirety of the team, it gets done. But when you pair me up with another human being,
a little more difficult.
quite often it will not get done. And the reason being is because we stop being a team.
Oh, okay.
So very often we stop being a team. So I've recognized two things. I can
Okay.
say this.
All right.
I can say most of the people that I've worked with in comics were useless, I think is the word. But I know
But.
I know you're listening. Actually,
However.
a lot of these are friends of yours.
Of course.
But
I've called them useless sometimes.
you've known who's fallen off with me, and you
know.
know I get stuff done. Like me or hate me, if we start a project, I will finish this project just for the business alone. Hang in there.
Yeah.
What the hell's your problem?
gotta see it through.
I finished the damn script anyway. So, what were we saying?
How much does Lily crack the whip on you? Keep you on track?
Not as much lately, I
No?
would say. I crack all the whips. in
Well,
the
Lily
house, yeah.
did, not to take the thunder from you.
No,
Lily
that's
did an incredible series, and I have to applaud her, of Why Not to Self-Publish.
Oh, I love that series. Yeah, totally. agree.
And she did an incredible job. If you haven't watched it yet, flip over to her YouTube channel.
Say hi.
You can say hi. You'll boost my ratings just by showing
There's
up.
Lily.
There we go. There's
you
Lily.
go. She's who designed my books.
Yes, The Unkillable Joe, which
Yep.
we will get to.
Yep.
I'm excited to find out about book number 2.
Yeah, and I actually have to give you the updated Unkillable Joe, the 4th edition.
The 4th edition.
I don't know how many editions, but the final.
Okay.
So this is
Which
the
I'm
final.
fine with.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Like if somebody says, "Hey, let me borrow that book," give them the good one.
Yes. So Lily did this great series of Why Not to Self-Publish, and I don't want to ruin anything. No spoilers. Flip over, give it a watch. It's very enlightening,
Ninth House Media on YouTube.
especially since we're going through this with the self-publishing for Red. You remember Red? We're finishing her children's book. It is done. We've
Oh,
got the ISBN.
okay.
We've got the copyright. We've got all of it
Congratulations.
done, and she will be having that unveiled at the Colorado Festival of Horror.
That's an exciting time.
Yes, and her little book is targeted from ages 3 to 8 or something
So
like
I
that.
can read it.
Yeah, I mean, we can understand the big words because it's a picture book, and it's very cute. It's very adorable. So
Yeah.
she's excited, and she's a mess. She's an absolute mess.
It's a weird time. I would say take out any. Just step away from it. Go for a hike. Just detach yourself from this project. I mean, it's weird.
We drink
because
wine.
The reason that Lily and I hooked up business-wise was because it's hard to handle rejection when it's your baby.
Yes.
When you have poured your soul into something and an agent says this is crap, and then you release it later on your own and turns out it wasn't crap and people really like it and you make a lot of money, then you do it again.
Well, you do it over and over again.
Do it over and over. I actually did it twice, and right now I'm on a hiatus because I just completed my first television show.
Like, when you say completed, you were on, you were in,
Written.
or okay.
Written.
Wow.
I just wrote my first 3-season show, and I got the treatment all done, and by request from someone, and I turned it in.
Nice.
And we are
I'm sure
now-
NDAs are in place and all of that, and I completely understand.
Yeah,
but
and we're
that's
now,
still
we're
impressive.
now listening to the silence, and the days are ticking by, and we're going, he's abandoned us. We're like on this island, just sitting there going, I just put in all this time, and I heard nothing back. But here's the thing, silence from this particular person is probably a good thing right now.
Probably.
So I'm going to let it ride, but it was a request, and it was
Well,
submitted.
if you were hired, if you were tapped, as we like to in the business, you got tapped. That's a good thing. That's progress.
And I Forrest Gump my way into this one. This wasn't something that I actually earned via
Did you
a
run
round of.
towards the bullets? I mean,
Well, it was okay. I met a very eccentric personality in Central City, Colorado, at a dispensary near one of the casinos, and he was wearing Batman pajamas. And he had these brightly colored shades, and this girl on his
not what I
arm-
would expect.
The girl on his arm was half sentient, and I liked him instantly. He was about 6'5". He looked like he's this big blonde surfer dude.
Big monster.
I just thought he was cool, and
Yeah.
we just walked at each other, and I said, "Those are cool pajamas." He said, "That's a cool hat." I had a Batman hat, and we smoked, we hung out, and then he invited me on my first podcast interview on Way High Radio in a town called Ward, Colorado. That was the weirdest town I've ever seen.
God.
You know what Ward is?
I know what Ward is.
That's
yes.
where I went. Okay,
oh my
so
God.
all right, so I'm at Ward, and we go into
This is like a toothless backwoods Alabama town. Okay, let's just get that straight.
It is off the map for sure, but we were in one of the trailers of the recording studio that was next to one of the trailers that was the post office, and we were
It's
inside.
like a mining
and
community up there.
Needless to say, we partied.
Of course.
We were on the radio for about an hour and a half, and it turned into like Joe Vallen's
Soapbox?
Spitshine mixtape. It was like
Nice.
anything I could think of that I wanted to hear, we'd play the song, and then I'd tell my thoughts about the song.
Nice.
And we were just so out of our tree.
Did you take callers? Was this live?
Yeah, it was live. We actually got shut down. They actually were pounding on the door. We're like, get out, leave. So we just got out of hand, and I went and took a piss outside at one point, and I was so out of my tree. And then this is when I first got to Colorado. I didn't know anyone, and I just met this dude. And anyway, his dad turned out to be a producer.
Oh, okay.
And so now we're, how many years later? Like 5
5
years
years.
later, and he hits me up, and he goes, "Hey, man, what's up?" And he's a crazy dude. And I'm like, "What's up, man?" And he goes, "That documentary you talked about, we're filming it. Get ready." And
Wow.
I said, "What? So there's a documentary about me and my writing journey. And
It's a good journey, though. I'm kind of coming in at halftime. I'm enjoying it so far.
It's weird. It's like a mental health journey, too.
Right.
So, which is what my writing is. But
You do exercise some demons in that first book. I'm not going to lie.
wait till you read the second book.
Oh, I can't wait.
So the first book is darker, I would say. I'd say Unkillable Joe is definitely darker than bestseller.
Okay.
My second book is called International Bestselling Author Joe Vallen, by me, Joe Vallen. But this one is, the people that liked it love it to a point where I don't understand it. Like, they really love it.
Okay.
But the people that didn't like it were like, it was crass, you beat me over the head with this, that, this, and I totally get where they're coming from. So
Okay.
this was my first book, and I love it. But at the same time, this book, the second book, was more for those people too.
Okay.
And it was more to say, well, how broad an audience could I cast a net for?
Right.
Considering that I'm a very abrasive, certain type of personality.
You're very direct.
I'm direct.
I don't know if I would call you abrasive because you're
Somehow.
not. Yes, but you don't set out to be a jackass.
No.
I mean, you're very to the point. You're very direct. And some people would call that abrasive. Some people would just call that honest.
I think from a lifetime of suffering fools, it's actually diminished my patience to the point where I act foolish. When I want to get rid of these people, and it makes me like them. They drag me to their level. I end up yelling and being a dick, and then later going, "How did I let that nothing affect me?"
All right.
And it happens all the time. So I'm definitely, that's my curse, is that
Okay.
I still take things to heart, and I still care, and then. But I would say this. If you've had a project, a long-term project that's gone belly up because somebody just fell out of love with it or whatever the excuses you've heard in the comic industry.
Yes.
You're pretty much prepared for anything less than that.
Yes.
So really when other stuff pops up in my life now that annoys me, it's like I'll bitch a little bit, but I'm okay.
That's good.
Yeah, it doesn't, like even on the way here I was bitching, right? How much was I bitching on a scale from 1 to 10? It was a 6 or 7. That's not too bad. That seems high, 6 or 7. I thought it was like a 2 or 3. All right, anyway.
I don't know. I guess it depends on
I got to calibrate is what we were learning here.
what
So my 2 is other people's 6. So, but no, I like it. And listen, I don't ever want to gerbalize myself fully.
No, of course not.
But at the same time, I am sanding the corners down. And
So you're not as sharp, not as pointy?
Yeah, I'm trying to be a little more, not likable, because it's not like I got beaten up and I'm surrendering and now I'm playing by the rules. It's not like that. I hate that beaten dog sort of creator. That's never going to be me.
The counterculture, is it there?
But I'm not that as mad as I used to be at certain people or things. Like even like my most recent projects that went belly up because of a person or people.
Right.
I'm not even mad at those people anymore because I went on to do that.
Right.
So how could I be mad?
It's true.
So it's kind of like, guys, I may be stuck in novels indefinitely because it's the only, film is tough because you have to move to LA, you have to be present for pitch meetings. You need to be there for 2 times for pitch season, I believe, for a month at a time.
Yeah.
I got to be renting a place out there. Why? I got to live in LA? That's the last place imaginable for me to live in. I live in Colorado.
I could not see you. You would go nuts.
I
in
would go
LA.
nuts in
You
LA.
would go nuts.
We're going further out. We're actually
You told me this.
We're looking to northern Maine.
What the it's cold as balls up there.
So am I.
No.
No, but
You're going to turn her into a popsicle.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. We're
It
right
is-
on the ocean.
it is beautiful.
Canadian border right there.
Wisconsin, I know the area well. New York, Jersey, I've been up in there. I've spent winters there. They're not pleasant.
No. But I don't think Maine is as cold as New York, for example. I'm from
No.
New York. I think New York's colder, actually.
I would
Like
probably
Buffalo?
agree. Yeah, because when you
Buffalo
get the
is
boroughs, yeah,
bone
Buffalo's
chilling. It's like Chicago.
nasty.
It's like, why? That's why people shoot each other in Chicago. It's actually because of how cold it is, and that's how
I was just
mad
going to
that
say
makes
that
them.
they're cranky, but okay,
Yeah.
we'll go with that.
Well, it's like Florida. The sun cooks their brain. In Colorado, the altitude, we're already operating on 1 beer each.
It's true.
All of us, right?
Yeah.
There's these places that you live in that add to your craziness. And then people identify their craziness with the place they're in and being like, well, I'm from Colorado. That's why I'm like this.
Oh, yeah. See, Red's got a theory because she's like, I hate people who do that because there's like Texans,
Yeah.
New Yorkers, and Coloradoans.
Yeah.
Those true blue, these like, yeah.
I've really tried to
can't.
shed my New York roots, but it's funny because it's like I have this weird ingrained pride about being a New Yorker where it's like we talked about me being, a little rough around the edges and things like that. In New York, I'm not.
No.
I'm a gentleman.
You are docile for New York
Yes.
standards.
In New York, exactly. So
But see, I appreciate people from New York because they tell you why you pissed them off. Mm-hmm. There's no mincing of words.
Yeah.
There's no question.
they also respect time above all things.
Yes.
Like,
Wait,
if you
don't
ask
waste my time.
somebody how to get to the subway, they might say that way, asshole. But you got your answer.
Get your answer.
Right. You ask somebody from the South how to get to a certain place, and you'll hear their life story. So
All right, let me tell you about this time when I was on the way to Route 66 is what you're going to take. And then when you're on the way, don't go that way.
And by the way, that's where we have moved. So Lily and I got a house in that place you just described. And can you imagine me? So I feel like Larry David walking around trying not to get into arguments with everyone. But it's like,
yeah, that's
so
perfect.
I hear it in my head all day.
But Maine
Maine is beautiful.
but
Stephen King's got it right. And let me tell you, here's what I've learned about writing novels
Okay.
and the failures I've had in comics.
okay.
Okay?
Comics is a tough nut. We can get to comics in a minute.
Totally. And at the highest level, it's a train wreck.
Yes.
So we all know that. So I don't take it to heart anymore. I don't think it's me that's the problem. I think I'm part of the problem. I think that, yes, could I have been a nicer gent when things have gone south? Sure,
Anybody
absolutely.
can.
But it's comics. You guys got to understand, comics suck ass. Being in comics means that you're going to be unhappy and humiliated and embarrassed on a quarterly basis. Every time you look at your sales, you're going to get more and more hostile. Every time you launch a new Kickstarter, you're going to annoy your friends. Every time you submit something, you're going to not hear something back usually. So there's a lot of things in comics that make it. I still have love for the medium.
Right.
You know
well,
what I mean?
you grew up on books.
And I have completed scripts that are good to go
Right.
that I will sell. I will sell these scripts, but I will not be the project manager. I will not be like the guy riding everybody,
Right.
keeping up deadlines,
Not your gig.
doing marketing.
Right.
So now Lily does that stuff,
Right.
which is a huge help for me. So now I can just be creative. And now that I have all the creative time in the world,
You got
I have
nothing.
writer's block.
You've got nothing.
I got writer's block. Sorry for the yelling. You better mix that in post.
You're fine.
So anyway, but,
I got you dialed down a little bit actually
thank
over
you.
there.
But yeah, I'm having a huge writer's block now. I finished that show, which I love.
So how much time did it take for you to do the show? Like from green light to handing it off?
How long did I work on that? You would know better than I do. 3 months solid.
3
work,
months?
But it was a year and a half of concept.
Okay.
So it was about a year and a half of concept. And pieces were taken from the comics too. Like it was
Right.
like, this is a cool concept. Let's put it over here.
Okay. So it's absolutely been a total fluid motion for the last couple of years.
I shredded it.
Okay.
I shredded it. If I find the right project, I will shred it. I will beat the shit out of a project if I find just the right one. But other than that, it's like pulling teeth.
Right.
Very, very tough to write when I don't have it.
Okay.
When I'm not hot on the trail.
Not feeling the
You
flow.
got to be the bloodhound. And,
Right.
and once you smell the story and you got the scent, then you can crush it.
Right.
But other than, or at least me. But other than that, I feel like a pile of shit. You can't get anything done. You just sit there. You're.
Well, I mean, in regards, I mean, Stephen King writes like that, where he gets like, I mean, Misery's not too far off from how he is in real life. When he gets a story, he just, goes to that one secluded spot and just hammers
He's
it
a Jedi, though.
out.
I mean, he musters the daily.
Yeah.
And the thing about the daily is I don't ever want to become my stories. I always want to be the guy that gets to read them at the end. And I think if I didn't take a break like Mr. King, I would just be it. It would just be what I am, is just this pecking machine from 2 to 6 p.m. He's got this gentlemanly schedule or whatever. But at the same time, I don't have it like that. And I don't have that many stories in me. I think I probably have 12 to 20 solid stories in me.
That's a lot. I wouldn't discount that. I mean,
It's a good career.
that's more than like Dean Koontz has put out.
But I have 2 out currently, so let's not talk too much trash.
True.
So I still have to write 18 more to get to that level.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Once
But-
you get over this writer's block.
Fuck writer's block, man. It's the stupidest thing. It's weird. And sometimes you sit down and you'll write 5,000 words of great stuff and you just crush it.
Yeah.
And it came out of nowhere and you feel like, it feels like, have you ever been hit in the face by a flying bird?
Yes, actually.
It's like that. It's like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah,
like you were
and
going about
you
your
got
day
shit
and
and feathers all over you, and it's just out of the blue. Yeah.
she's making small talk with me. I can't hear a word she's saying. Like, I don't know what's going on. My cat's crying. It's just like, Jesus Christ. I'm coming out of like
The
a
cat's crying.
a Donnie
Jesus.
Darko portal, It's the worst.
The bunny made me do it.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what the chess is about too. It's about
Okay.
like taking me out of fantasy land.
Yeah, but that's still, like you said, that's still an intense sport. I mean, because I've watched like professional chess players, and they've got the clock, and they're boom, 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 boom. I mean, and they've got theorem and strategy,
Yeah.
and I mean that is just. I applaud those people because that is some high brain shit right
It's
there.
an addiction. I was saying before we got on the air that I think chess is the most brutal hobby a person could take up. I mean, in no other way could a person politely call you stupid, than on a chessboard.
Yeah. Well, you suck.
Yeah, and they don't even have to say a word. They can
No.
just look you in the eye after making a move, and you just know it's like echoing in your head.
And I know this may come as a shock, as strange form, but flipping the table or hitting them with the chessboard
Yeah.
is bad form.
Right.
I heard you can't do that.
Which is funny. I cut my teeth on chess playing with bikers. There's a lot of bikers.
See, and
I know.
there's
And we used to play
there's
chess.
such
and-
a contrast right there.
But you know what's funny? There was none of that. There was none of the. We knew not to flip a board. You flip
Wow.
a board, then you're in trouble.
that's trouble.
Yes.
In a biker.
The board is sacred. It's like neutral ground.
Oh, Highlander. Oh, I like it.
Yeah, and it was actually a good way to keep tensions down too. Like if you saw people are tense, maybe a couple guys don't like each other in the room.
Right.
It's a little shitty.
Settle it out that way.
Different groups,
Right.
Yeah, you just put the table there somewhere, and people just kind of meander over to it. And then when people get bored enough, they start watching. and then it becomes a soothing thing. People relax a bit.
Yeah.
So I've never seen anybody freak out over a chess table, I can say. But it does get really intense.
It does get very intense.
Yeah.
Because I've seen nervous breakdowns at chess tournaments.
Yeah, I want to open up. I was telling Lily, I had some type of adult like Dave and Buster's scenario where you could go in and arm wrestle and play chess with masters and,
That would be cool.
archery and something cool. Just mix up a whole bunch of,
This is a whole new YMCA level here.
It would be great. It would be great. Nobody has any vision anymore. It's all corporate.
Yeah, they're the ones that are paying for it. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Yeah, they're the ones paying
That's the
for
problem.
it.
Do it with
Although,
the money.
if you can't beat them on the archery range, let's go sit down and have a friendly game of chess. I like that.
It's good to see you, man. It's been a
Good
while.
to see you.
Shit. So it's nice to be here. Anyway, what do you got going on in your life?
You saw the studio.
Yeah, it's
The
amazing.
studio
Yeah.
has consumed a good portion of our existence,
Mm-hmm.
putting it together. We're creating content for people online, for their media, for their presence, and it continues. We get new
Mm-hmm. Where
clients
can I
every
find
day.
your site again?
5280geek.com. But we do other stuff for other clients. It's all over the place.
Get with Smurf if you need anything.
Yes, we'll
There you
create anything for you.
Yeah.
We're good.
And then, plug for Lily if you need a book shepherd or a project
Yes.
manager. I think you're out of social media stuff now. You're kind of past all that, or are you still doing it?
I'm still all over.
Okay. ninthhousemedia.com.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Because we last time saw you, it was at Enchanted Grounds on the other side of town.
Oh, that was fun. I had a good time there.
It was a good time,
That was good.
but it's so much different now.
Did we have to leave early that time too? Did we have a thing that day too?
I don't know. I know you were on a clicking clock, I think.
Maybe
Clicking
we always
cock.
are.
Yeah.
You
that-
always have time.
Oh, I think that was when Chuck Palahniuk was in town, and we were going to his.
Oh, you were because
I had to go meet Chuck Palahniuk.
Yes,
That was
'cause
awesome.
That was a good story. I
Yeah.
saw the picture of you and Chuck all
Yeah, it was weird. I wanted to do the Predator handshake with him,
right.
and he's got some weird Fight Club pose he does, where he grabs people and it's kind of
Right,
like
and
arm
he pulls
wrestling, and
them
then he
in,
brings
yeah.
the other arm up like that, like a Frank Miller, Bruce Wayne on the cover.
It is, and it is kind of awkward, Dark Knight-ish.
And I told
or-
him as much,
yeah.
and I said, "It's a little weird, man." I go, "Let's do Predator." He goes, "No, we're doing this," and he was more. Talk about intense.
He has a whole other level
Paul
of
Nick
just
is intense. He's
yes.
an intense bastard. He was pulling me around. So
I can't see anyone pulling you around. But to be fair, Paul Nick is a big guy.
He is. I think. Well, what I got from when we gripped up
Yeah.
was that, and I'm not saying this to be cocky. I'm positive I'm stronger than him,
Hmm.
but he was wiry and he was stronger than I
Wiry
thought.
old
He
man.
was probably about $160 when I saw him.
Okay.
But he was lean and he looked good and he was wearing like one of those
Your tight black
tight like workout athlete
Oh, like
shirts.
a Under Armour?
Yeah, he was wearing like Under Armour, and he threw me off with all this. And then he told Lily a cool story about Trent Reznor drunk dialing him, and some other stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
it was weird.
That's
it was
odd. That's
yeah.
a Trent Reznor. If you ever want to drunk dial me, by all means, hit me up. I'd love to
It was
talk.
because Trent heard that Chuck wrote Fight Club to the Downward Spiral, which is true,
Which is true.
and Chuck confirmed that with Lily.
Right.
Chuck confirms that with Trent. Trent gives Chuck lifetime passes, backstage passes to all his stuff. So Chuck starts hanging out with the guy, right? So I
Fair
think
is
he
fair.
went to a show or two, from what I gather from the story.
'Kay.
And then after that, late at night, he would get a call from a drunken Trent Reznor just spilling his guts. And which I'm not trashing him. He's like one of my favorite all-time
Oh, absolutely.
performers.
Trent is just
Nine Inch Nails when I was a kid. I know now it's funny. I don't listen to as much Nin as I did when I was a kid.
right.
But if you're a '90s kid,
Well, that's
Nine
that
Inch
was
Nails hit hard.
that was, and then he's got like all of the Oscars now, and I mean all of the music that he's composed
with
for
John
films
Baptiste
and
from
all of
the
that.
Late Show, he did something recently.
Yeah.
Won an Oscar. So he's actually just bloomed into this and the Social Network. The only reason to watch that is his soundtrack.
His sound has, yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
won Oscars. I think he's won 3 for original score, original composition. He's got a couple of them. I have to look them up, but yeah, Reznor's got Oscars.
yeah, and it's gonna sound condescending coming from a man who will never touch his level of fame, but I'm really proud of him.
No, absolutely. Well, when you think, because when you think Nine Inch Nails, you think scuzzy '90s metal band.
March of the Pigs, man.
Yeah,
All day. Give me,
and everyone that was in that group,
Happiness
long
and Slavery. That
yeah.
was my jam for a while. Like
emo, and he's just elevated to like 3-piece suits, hair slicked back, the exact opposite of what you would expect from a Nine Inch
there's
Nails.
certain things that have paired together to make me who I am, and one of them is Nine Inch Nails and martial arts. Right when 9 Inch Nails was coming out with the Downward Spiral, I think it was 94 or whatever, it was just, I didn't know what to do with all my energy.
Right.
And I started going to martial arts class a lot more often and sparring a lot with my friends and stuff.
Okay.
And I started listening to metal. So like really metal and fighting like went together, and not in a dark way either. Like I didn't want to hurt anyone. It was very sportsmanlike.
Right.
My friends all got good, and we all got talented together. But really, those two went together, and I think if I wouldn't have found metal, I don't think I would have gotten into combat sports at all.
No,
So-
I can understand that. I mean, Rob Zombie and Blade. I mean, that just kind of
Yeah.
really worked.
Yeah, I was a really timid kid, and then like Japanese anime got me into swordsmanship. And as dorky as that sounds,
Doesn't sound dorky.
I went full circle to actually knowing what I'm doing with a sword now. And I don't know, it's just weird how your influences shape your future hobbies too.
So how much of that has come through? Because you and I spoke, and I know the answer, but it's probably been a while since anyone has heard the story of, the author Joe Vallen versus the character Joe Vallen.
One and the same. It's part of the multiverse because,
Careful. I heard the multiverse went boom.
yeah, right. Well, most scientists believe in a multiverse now, and it's got me thinking. And then you also look at things like deja vu, possibility, quantum theory. Not like I'm into any of this stuff, but just
Right.
in my caveman brain,
Okay.
where I've gotten to with this is okay. There's an infinite amount of me. So ergo, what makes this one any special? Well, I'm the narrator.
Right. You're the
So,
hero of the story.
If I make another Joe, he actually does exist somewhere, which is why you kind of carry weight when you kill off characters, because you're wondering if on a metaphysical level you actually did just murder somebody. And for me,
Wow,
anyway,
that's some deep shit right there.
writers are cold people for that reason.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
we get dead inside, not because of rejection, but because of all the murders we've committed. And
Which works because I've had conversations with authors who say that their characters have taken on a life of their own.
Sure.
That they can't write this way because their character doesn't want to do that.
happens a million times.
And to your theory, that's some pretty
As soon-
metaphysical.
As soon as I know the characters, they do their own thing. So
Right.
what I do is I make myself a protagonist in all my stories. So this way I have a man on the inside that I know what he would do.
He's
at
on the
any
low
time.
low?
I know what Joe would do. Yes. I know what Joe would do in this scenario. There's a good scene in Lilith's Cradle, my old comic, where there's this massive demon by the name of Barku who teleports to Earth. And he comes crashing out of the tree line as Joe
All right.
is cruising along a nighttime coastal windy road on his Harley. And this thing comes crashing out in the road, and Joe lays down his Harley immediately, and the thing stops it with his foot and looks up at him, and Joe comes up shooting. I know for a fact I would come up shooting.
All right.
So that's kind of like a scenario right there where I'm like, shoot it! So anytime I feel like that, like if I put myself there and I freak out and do something,
Right.
my character does it.
Okay.
And this is...
That's actually a very good theory. I mean, that works well.
It enables you to pants a story, what's called pantsing,
Yeah.
where you have no outline and you just write to find out what happens. That's how I wrote Unkillable Joe. With Bestseller, I had a meticulous outline.
Oh.
Very different story. This one will feel more like a pro novel, quote unquote.
Okay.
This one is more like, what the hell did I just read?
Well, I wouldn't go as far as saying what the hell did I just read.
Yeah.
When I got done with the first book,
Yeah.
I felt like I had been on a 5-hour-long roller coaster.
Yeah.
And it was bouncy, it was turvy, it was up, it was down, it was all over, and I wanted to go back.
And you now know me better than
Yes.
either of us would care to admit, because that book is like it's like all my readers have been in my guts now, and it's very exposed.
Swimming in your belly.
Yeah, I feel like I need like a long sleeve shirt or something. Like I feel like I need a blanket. And I feel very exposed.
Sorry, we don't have any binkies here.
And it's really weird because people that have known me my whole life that read it, like that's even more embarrassing, because then you have that talk where it's like,
Well, and I'm sure you've probably exercised demons since last we spoke, because they have read it, and they're probably come to you and say, "Tell me about this." I mean, has there been some like, heartfelt
it's where part of
moments?
this mental health documentary came from.
Right.
Was my writing and stuff, and then I'm also the subject of that too. So like, here's the thing, I do occasionally need a bit of help in the old grape, and the reason being is because I think I'm carrying too much darkness in there. So the writing really helps me vent that. The occasional mental health professional isn't out of the norm. I think that's a good thing. I think more people should see mental health professionals for sure, especially right now. Actually, just take a serious moment. right now is like the worst time ever for that stuff.
Oh yeah.
So we have to acknowledge that. We can't act like everything's, normal. We understand there's people out there suffering and whatever. You guys should really go see somebody. I'm not kidding. I felt a lot better after I've done it. And Lily rubs my back every night, and I still needed to vent.
Wow.
That's how much rage I have.
You are Rage Against the
I'm a
Machine.
rageaholic. So anyway, go get some help if you need it for sure. Don't be too proud, and don't think money's an option or an obstacle either. You will find a way if you set your mind to it.
Well, and I
a
mean,
lot of free options out there.
Absolutely. And the mental health issue with everything closing down, opening back up, there's a lot of anxiety and angsty people that are still there. Even though we're this far removed from it, not a lot of people have.
It was a rough year.
Yeah. There's a lot of, and people are still reeling. And when it looks like we're going to go for round 2, everyone is like, don't make me go back in the box.
Right.
You
Well,
know?
one of the reasons that mental health is a big crusade of mine is because I'm always shocked at how a change in perception can make me feel that differently.
Right.
And it's funny, like you could go see somebody, or you could talk with a friend, or whatever you need to do.
Right.
I mean, get it out, write it. I mean,
Write it.
This was preventing a time bomb.
Right.
Is what this was.
That was
I was in a bad place when I
that
was
was
younger.
preventing a murder spree is what that was.
Probably, and I'm so thankful because it turned out to be such a positive thing. If you can turn all that shittiness into something really positive, it's something that other people can latch on to, and you can sell these things for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You can promote them for the rest of your life. They will always help somebody. Aliens can read them long after we're gone. And,
Well, you're digital on these, right? You're on Amazon, so you will live forever on the webs.
Yeah, and I'm going to get my voice out there, too, for the great duplication. Basically, what I'm going for is I'm trying to... It's not fame I'm after, guys. I
No,
don't
we
give a
know
shit about
that.
fame. It is a great amount of money. It's a great sum of money I'm trying to get, which is why you should buy Unkillable Joe or international best-selling author Joe Vallen by Joe Vallen, me.
Shameless plug here.
Because I need a lot of money. And
well,
the
you
reason-
need to continue.
But the reason I need a lot of money is exactly right. I need to continue. I need to pay Bill Gates for the great duplication, where he's going to copy me from all my voice recordings on the internet and everything else, and testimony from Lily and other people, and he will create a hologram that will live on forever. Lawnmower Man style.
Lawnmower. I was going to say Red Dwarf style.
Oh, that's pretty, okay. Okay. But yes, that's what I'm going
You're
for.
probably less annoying than Rimmer any
Yeah.
day of the week,
There you
but
go.
totally Red Dwarf.
There you go. So yeah, I really want to be duplicated, and I want to go into the internet, and I think I'm going to need a shitload of money.
All right. I think that's a fair analogy.
That's why I want it.
All right.
Buy all my books.
Buy all my books. Buy all 2 of them.
Bastards.
So, is there a horror... I mean, speaking of avoiding a murder spree,
Hi.
is there a horror book in you? Do you feel... I mean, because you speak of darkness, which, there's a certain element there for horror. Do you have the horror taste? Because, I mean, it is a particular vein, because this is not horror. This is suspense. This is metaphysical. This is...
Fantasy.
Yeah.
Action.
So it doesn't fall into the horror category.
Yeah.
But could you slip into the horror realm?
I could, and I had horror comics in production. So I was gonna make Lilith's Cradle a horror comic. I was gonna make Dear Heart's a choose your own adventure novel.
Nice. I remember those back in the
Both
day.
of them novels. Here's the thing with horror. I start writing horror, and writing a book is a daily thing where you get pulled in, and you get lower and lower. You get mean, you get nasty, you get shitty, you get out of shape.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's true.
It's just like, yes.
But it does affect you. It consumes you. The people around you have to understand you're writing right now. Like
Right.
that. This is a really happy time for Lily and I because it's between projects. I'm pretty easygoing. Everything's fine. But when things start to get heavy in the middle of my writing, because I think you get imposter syndrome, you feel like you suck, you feel like the story sucks, you feel like everything.
Right.
This is a bad investment of our time. So on, you're letting your family down because you got to earn. You're creator, and this is how you pay your bills.
piece of shit. I'm gonna be on the street. Okay, I'm with you.
Exactly.
I'm with you.
So now you're like, idiot, right? And you're like forcing it, and now it's not going to work. It's a rough time, bro.
Wow.
So that's why now I think is a good time. I do think, to answer your question, yes, I do have horror in me, and it comes out in elements, but I don't think I'll get out of that Joe Vallen, like, dark comedy wheelhouse, because
It works very well for you.
every time I try to write something else, I just have to make jokes. I have to bust balls.
No? And you know what? And
know.
I made this analogy, and I can make it now even more. After reading the book, you and Paul Nick are very similar.
Yeah.
You guys are very,
yeah.
especially when I read Survivor way back in the day.
I love Survivor.
And reading that, there were some, I was like, oh, I could totally
he got annoyed
see
with
that.
me because I told him it took me a while to get your voice out of my writing because I read so many of your books.
Yeah, I
And
can
so
understand
I
that.
kind of chameleoned your.
Ghost Story was kind of, or Ghost or whatever that one was.
That was
one's-
25 different styles. Haunted.
Yeah, that's it.
One of the grossest first chapters I've ever read.
Oh my
in
God,
any-
yes.
Anyway, but no,
So he got pissed about you liking
He didn't get
Survivor?
pissed, but he was like, you got my voice kind of deal. But it's like, no, man, we're in the same genre. But I would say this: I sound a lot more like Tom Robbins if you ever read his stuff.
Haven't read-
And he's actually named in this new book, but it's
Nice.
not Tom Robbins. It's a monkey I buy for $300 million, and I name
Would
him
you like
Tom
to buy a
Robbins
monkey?
in this book. It's really funny, and he's a bad monkey. So no reflection
Well,
on
of
the
course,
author.
nobody likes a good monkey.
Right. So I'm a tremendous fan, but I think I sound more like him or like a suicidal Douglas Adams. Like if Douglas Adams was really suicidal, I think he'd come out with Unkillable.
I don't know, some of the stuff he did for Doctor Who. I mean,
Yeah, right. So I don't know. I'm a big snarky humor guy. I really like that a lot. I want to be entertained too when I read it. And
How many times have you gone back to read your own stuff? Do you do that often?
like 3 or 4, and during the editing quite a bit. But probably once a year I try to read something that I've written, and I pretend I know nothing about it.
Okay.
And I just go through it. And if I find edits, poor Lily has to make them.
Oh,
So that's why there's so many editions,
right.
because we're self-published, so I can.
Well, it's an easier thing because you can go on the Amazon, find the page, make the correction.
yeah.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Exactly. So anyway, but yeah, I'm just getting back out on the road now to promote this guy. This is
Right.
the new book.
So how long has that been done?
January I finished it. But,
Okay.
But COVID.
No,
And all this
understand.
crap, and then we had to wait for everything to open, so we kind of soft launched it and sold it mainly to my friends and the internet.
Okay.
But yeah, we're just getting back out there. Tonight's my first signing.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I can't keep you too much longer because I've already got you.
We got to bounce.
Yeah. But so where's your signing tonight, and where can they find you? How can they stalk you? Where is all of that?
Okay, so tonight I'll be at the Flourish Art Gallery, and guys, if you're in Lakewood,
Not Aurora.
not Aurora,
Lakewood.
I recommend you go to the Flourish Art Gallery. I think they do things on Fridays mainly. First Friday.
So their first Friday.
Do First Fridays and go there. It's like 2 art galleries connected. Really cool.
Not the first Friday on Santa Fe Street. The first Friday in Lakewood.
Lakewood. And yeah, Heather Sam owners, really great people. Just an awesome, really just cool space to hang
Okay.
out in. I recommend you mix up your going out schedule with it. And then as far as my stuff, my name is Joe Vallen with 2 L's, Vallen. Google that. There's my stuff. You can get it on Amazon, joevallenwriter.com. Go to your local bookstore and ask for it. They can order it.
Yeah, because you got to
I'm in part of Ingram.
Isbin and Ingram and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
so
yeah.
you can get my books anywhere, and I was really shocked to find out Unkillable Joe is in like 20, 30 different countries.
Wow.
That's really cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works
I couldn't
well.
even read the ads for them. So, for it. But yeah, guys, support Lily at Ninth House Media. That's cool. Support Smurf, 5280 Geek.
Thank you.
And go to his website if you guys need anything. Who else? Oh, support our friend Savannah Euland.
Who's Savannah Euland?
She is an author. She was trying to fly up here tonight. She couldn't make it.
Oh, that's
her
sad.
flight was canceled. So yeah, support her. She has her first book out, Monster in Her Garden. Yes.
Very cool. If she comes in, let her know. I would love to have her.
Also
her
available
first
on
book,
Ninth House Media.
Her first books are always exciting and just
It's
kind
crazy.
of like nervous energy.
Yeah, third books are more just like, all right, I'll chop off another finger. Fine. You know, like
You
get to
make
that
it
point.
sound so John Wickish. Fine.
It just
Fuck
gets.
you. Ah!
I feel like more like Constantine.
Oh, even better.
I feel like
just
Constantine.
just as tormented
I gotta
though.
take another goddamn shitty demon out of a fucking stupid mirror. Ugh. Give me a cigarette. Right.
Precious.
He's gonna come collect me any minute.
I don't see you chain smoking quite as
I
heavily
used
as
to. I was a chain smoker when I was a kid.
Jesus.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, I gotta go. But
So that's where they need to follow you.
that's where you follow everything, guys.
Okay.
Easy peasy.
Thank you
and
for sitting in with us. I don't want to keep you and Lily any
Let's
longer.
hang out more, man. And these are your books.
Thank you. I will give them a read. He's gonna read the first one
Awesome.
because
Awesome.
I know
Enjoy.
he's already got it, and we'll give you a nice sparkling review.
Oh, I appreciate that. So yeah, guys, read more books. Books are where it's at, and you know, comics are cool. It's just tough to figure out which ones to support, which runs to follow. You got to listen to Smurf; he'll let you know.
Yes, I try, but there's so many different things.
That's
and-
really your crusade, isn't it?
Yeah.
To help people wade through the mountain of or the waters of bullshit and find that proper title for them.
yeah, I'm all about that. I've been doing that since the '90s.
You're a good man.
Thank you.
So
So in the meantime, Run fast, laugh hard, and always be kind.